A few years ago, I honestly thought that if I wasn't training 2 to 3 times a day, 6 days a week, I wasn't working hard enough. I thought more sessions meant more progress, more discipline, more strength, but the truth is, training less has made me stronger, feel better than I have ever in years. And I just don't mean the gym. Over the last 10, 11 years, I've built an entire life around fitness. I re-qualified as a level 2 and level 3 personal trainer, became a qualified British powerlifting coach, and now I'm working towards becoming a level 4 strength and conditioning coach. I became a personal trainer and martial arts instructor. I competed in powerlifting and became a national champion at the age of 24. I finished with competition lifts, 130 kilo squat, 70 bench press and 182.5 kilos deadlift at just 57 kilos body weight. I also earned my brown belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu, a purple belt in kickboxing, raced a few mountain bike races. I built Destiny Strength Coaching, which is also getting rebranded, and I started creating videos to share everything I've learned, and I did all of that while working retail. The funny thing is, I hated PE at school. I obviously wasn't the most athletic child. Deep down there was always that aspect that kept me curious, but I just didn't know what it was. And then at the age of 17, I started training at the gym, and then over time I got into powerlifting, and then later on martial arts and my career, and then it just became my whole life. The problem was, the deeper I got into competing, coaching and teaching, the more I believed that I always had to do more sessions, more volume, more work. And also competing in powerlifting, and my relationship with food got worse. I was a bit of a fuzzy eater as a child, but I cleaned my diet up when I started to train, and then it was fine until I became more competitive in the powerlifting nationals. I basically just ate what I want. I burnt most of it off at the dojo, training martial arts and just training in general. But when it came to comps and I was trying to make weight, I would go on quite a long diet and then water cut. And especially at one of my comps, the All England, I somehow won second, but it was a rubbish comp for a start because I was just so ill and dehydrated and I didn't eat enough. And then after comps, I used to just binge eat. Especially a few days later, I used to be like eating absolute shit, and then everything got out the window again. And then I strained my hip abductor, and to this day I still have a slight hip impingement, which I'm slowly working on rehabbing and lifting to make it better and stuff. So yeah, it's still a bit weak, and it was mostly from squatting arse to grass, but also my roundhouse kicks and stuff didn't particularly help. But yeah, they got weaker after my hip injury. Apart from the injury and burnout I eventually felt around that time, I decided to retire at the end of 2024. After that, I threw myself into working towards my black belt in Japanese Jiu-Jitsu and continuously teaching, all while still weight training and occasionally bouldering, but it was mostly weight training, martial arts. I was starting to get into mountain biking at the time, but it wasn't too frequent. I trained martial arts around 5 times a week, along with my 4 to 5 weight training sessions. Around this time last year, May, I woke up with really bad neck spasm. It's not been right ever since, but I'm working on having it fixed. So overall, as my neck and shoulder started giving up, last year was probably the lowest point of my fitness career, I could say. I had heavy periods, ulcers continuously, stomach problems, sleep problems. I was struggling to eat, even if I could eat. It was difficult to fit my food in around training and teaching and work in general, as well as the fact my appetite was awful. I was continuously injured, overwhelmed, exhausted. I even reached to the point where I was taking painkillers just to train, and then it did slip into just throughout the day I'll just keep taking them a little bit for thinking it'll help, but I did sort that out pretty fast before it got too serious, to be fair. I was basically very on the ball with that, especially after a situation a few years ago where I dipped my toe into doing some strongman, and I basically overtrained and tore my lower bicep. And yeah, I basically took painkillers quite a lot, and it also included taking it with shots of rum and whiskey before bed to help me sleep. Don't do that at all, please. Overall, I realised at that point that something needed to change. I had another flare up with my neck. I was at Black Belt Academy I was training my 30 throws. I was struggling as it was. My training was going backwards, and yeah, I was curled up on the floor in agony, like muscle spasms everywhere, cramping. I felt a mess. It was quite emotional, and I nearly quit on the spot there, but I didn't. I rested a little bit for a few weeks, and I started to introduce at least one training session of jiu-jitsu in, and it was okay leading over Christmas. Got to the point where I was just still feeling overwhelmed, and I was still getting injured. Each sport does help each other, but no matter how much I tried to tweak my training, I was losing strength. I'm not saying losing weight, I was just feeling bloated. I was losing muscle mass, I was losing strength, and that was basically what helped me keep going in martial arts as well, because especially being thrown around, a lot of people are heavier than me, and that's basically one of the reasons why I got neck injury, because it was just whiplashing and being thrown around. Depending on the context, you could say. I knew something had to change. Around 3 months ago, I finally decided to walk away from martial arts, both training and teaching. Not because I stopped loving it, it was just my body and my head needed a break. I don't even know if it's a permanent break at this moment actually, but we'll find out. Now, I train once a day. I train my weights and then some cardio a little bit afterwards, but it doesn't have to be each session. And I feel like I can push myself a bit more in the gym. I add cardio, a rowing machine, assault bike and some spin bikes in. I ride my mountain bike a minimum of once a week. Might add a second session in a week depending on the weather and time. Yeah, I weight train 5 times a week, around that anyway. And yeah, it's just one session a day. It's still a good 2 hours in the gym, but weight train, bodybuilding, strength and conditioning basically at the gym, while I ride my mountain bike and just travel around, especially the UK, and ride my bike, explore, go hiking. Not really bouldering as much at the moment. I'm happy just riding my bike and lifting weights these days while I work on my YouTube channel and work in my retail job and just try and recover and just get better from everything. I still have a few health issues that I need to heal from, my injuries, and one of them is a problem with my jaw that I've getting a referral to the hospital. It's nothing serious, it just needs double checking, and also another few health issues that my entire left side from being thrown. I've got like shoulder problems, my neck problems, my jaw from that side, my hip is also on that side, but I won't entirely blame martial arts on the hip. I don't know if it's just because I'm over dominant on that side or just being thrown repeatedly, because especially in Japanese jiu-jitsu, you spend the first 2 years or the first several belts training on one side only, and then you start to do more the opposite side. But overall, I'm enjoying training and my life just in general a lot more than I have over the last few years. I'm just happier now and I feel so much better and healthier. Sitting around maintenance with my food, I'm not lean bulking or cutting or whatever. I'm just eating what's right, and pretty clean diet, 80-90% clean. I expected to put loads of weight on because I'm not like as active as I used to be, but basically I noticed that my body in general looks better and feels better. It's weird because like I was feeling quite, looking at pictures and just how I look at myself, I noticed my muscle definition's a lot better and I look leaner. But when I looked into it, it was actually to do with the fact I've got less stress hormones floating around and just overall fatigue. So my body's kind of chilled out more. What surprised me the most is that training less hasn't made me weaker. It's done the opposite. I'm sleeping properly, my recovery is better, my body composition is better, I'm getting stronger again, I'm riding better. I've got a Garmin recently and basically my recovery scores are very high and it's showing that I'm adapting to my training. You don't get stronger while you're lifting, you get stronger while you recover. When stress stays high all the time, your body struggles to recover properly. You're more likely to feel run down, sleep worse, stay injured, and mentally everything feels harder. Reducing that constant stress has probably been the biggest performance enhancer. I'm not chasing powerlifting totals anymore, I intend to get a bit stronger in the gym obviously, but it's not my top priority. I'm not chasing a black belt anymore. Right now I'm chasing balance. I want to build some more muscle. I want to become a better mountain biker. I'm not really good, but I'm currently riding a hardtail full suspension is on its way. I'm not going to be like some magical pro rider shit. I'm not aiming for that. I just want to enjoy riding my bike, learning more skills, and I'm just improving my fitness on that. Do I miss martial arts? Yeah, of course I do, but honestly, I won't have it any other way. I won't be where I am today with the lessons learnt and the skills I've learned over the past 10, 11 years without powerlifting and martial arts and just training in general. And also I've experienced so much coaching and learnt skills from that too. Hopefully you've learnt from this video that you don't need to be training your ass off to succeed in training or just in your sport in general. Just train smart. And if you're into this sort of content, mountain biking and gym stuff, feel free to like and subscribe, and see you in the next video. And remember, be unstoppable.